And we are coming live to you today. It's a little bit early. Um, I'm going to try something new on our end. We're a little bit early today because we want to give you guys time to pack into the chat room. We're going to start going right about at the 7 o'clock mark. But you want to get them their reminders while we're waiting?
Not so much, man. Stacking, right? Stacking the ounces, stacking your satoshis, anything else you may be into, you stacking on top of it. This is a great time. This is a great time. Today we've seen Bitcoin in the 70s for a little bit this morning, and then right now it's about 69. I thought it was about 69, 7, somewhere in that range when I just last looked at it. So
It
it's
touched
a beautiful
70
time. It's a
early this
beautiful time.
morning.
And we're going to talk about that during the show early on when we get started. Uh, but yeah, it's a like 69.7. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought I saw. And so that's a great price. That's a great price. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, that's too expensive." I've heard that the whole way up. The whole way up, it's too expensive. It's like, hey. If you just would have got it here when I said when it was too expensive there. You hear a lot of things from family and friends. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. It's almost in my mind just speaking to the inner loop, the inner group of the people who are buying Bitcoin. Now, if somebody wants some information, education, boom, I'm there for them, right? But other than that, man, we here, we just chop it up game with each other, seeing if there's any new ideas or innovations or something that somebody knows, things on sale. If you go over, and this is not a sponsor of ours, but if you go over to One Gold, you can buy silver at spot price. In silver, it's Switzerland silver at spot price, no premium. So you understand that One Gold is going to hold your silver in a depository, but you can buy it at spot price. And I'm just saying that's something I came across today, and in my investing and looking what's going on. So you can check out One Gold. We're not sponsors, right? They're not sponsors.
But you can be one gold if you're
Yeah, One Gold.
watching.
Yeah, if you're watching. So yeah, that was something I came across early today. Did you come across anything during your day?
We came across a few things that we're going to talk about when we get a few people into the room. I want to shout out Bitcoin Shango,
Yeah.
Mr. W. Smith,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right?
Shout out to them.
He is saying to please smash those likes. We appreciate when you guys, our content cousins, encourage one another to
Yeah.
support us. I really appreciate it.
Oh boy.
Bitcoin Shango said that's exactly how I feel. I did my preaching until I was blue in the face.
Yeah.
I'm one of the younger cousins, so I was ignored. Basically, now that number go up, tech is in effect. Folks is looking.
Look.
Crip Work said, what you people want? You still making fun of his voice. Let
Oh,
freedom
come on,
ring.
man.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It still didn't come back. I got some tea. I drank some tea she made me.
He
What
still
else?
sound like Terrence Howard, huh?
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I can get it to a higher rate if I need to, but
Because it's going cracking. Just go.
yeah, it's gonna crack, go away.
Just go.
I seen also in an article today, President Bukele has gotten $400 more million in Bitcoin.
What?
Yeah, so they're going all in. That's a country that's going all in, and they really trying to be like the new Dubai. So keep your eye on that. Do some knowledge on El Salvador. If you got a chance, take a trip over there. We took a trip over there. It's a very nice place.
Very
The
nice
people
place.
were very nice to us. It was a nice beach. It's a little warm for me, a little hot, but
Yeah. It's
sorry
about as
about that.
hot as Mexico, though, so it wasn't really that
I think
different.
maybe it was the humidity that was bothering me.
Because we were on the beach,
Yeah, we
right?
were on the beach. And let me tell you something about it for my old school cats. When I went to this restaurant on the beach, I ordered a Gatorade, and the Gatorade came in a glass bottle.
Oh, God, we
And
still
I was
talking about
like,
that.
dang, a glass bottle. I ain't seen that since like I was like 8 or 9. So you can find some different things over there that are very interesting. But yeah, we got the people in the room. Or it's been, what time is this? It's 7? It's not 7
Almost,
yet.
not yet,
Almost.
not
Okay.
quite.
Yeah. So
President Bukele, kinfolk, let me hold something. I know you got something you can lend me.
yeah, we
400
Kelly
billion
got it,
up
boy.
today.
Mhm.
Let me hold something. Bitcoin Shango did say, Nicole said you sound better.
Oh, thank
Bitcoin
you.
Shango
Thank you.
said, "Well, I won't push them to the curb. All I'm doing now is pointing them to the same content I posted before. El Salvador is definitely coming up.
Yes.
They absolutely are. And other countries are looking at, if not the Bitcoin aspect of it, they're definitely looking at the crime cleanup. Absolutely looking at that, because again, they haven't had a homicide in a long time. What's the matter, Bubba?
No, this is the first Bitcoin family, so he
Yeah.
wants to be in the picture.
He does, but he
Yeah.
don't. See, now he's turning away, but he came and sat right there
They
in
say they
view
seen
of the
you.
camera.
They
They
seen
already
you.
saw you.
Yeah, they already saw you.
What do you want, baby?
He was a phone.
You want mama's phone?
So yeah, he said the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
I think it's the safest country in the world at this
So
point.
you go down there, you have fun. Um, you got all the millionaires down there because they had that Bitcoin Visa where you had, if you staked $1 million worth of Bitcoin, then you get the Visa. And so a lot of people jumped in on that. Some of the more famous people, like Max Kaiser, he was on it. Who else was on that?
What, baby?
I can't remember now the people.
What?
I think the guy I can't from Strike, but he's there. Some other people are there. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the Western Hemisphere. As for other news, I didn't catch anything that I thought was interesting or anything to speak of. But those two things are pretty good. And that's about it. That's about it. I mean, we can go ahead and start rolling in if you want.
Big Watch Dude said, I finally caught y'all early today.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Big
Big
Watch Dude.
shout out to Big White Dude, man. I got on my white aviator today.
Oh, Lord.
So, that's pretty clean.
Oh,
Pretty
Let
clean.
Freedom Reign said Jack Mahler.
Jack Martin, thank you. That's what I was trying to get. Because I'm like, man, what is his name? But yeah, he's on it. And that's just, man, that's a lot of people jumping in down there. So I'm very interested in it. I mean, we don't have small children anymore, but we have 4 children. And if we go over there, they're going to have to set up shop here in Mexico. And, we'll come back and visit. But it's a 2-man show if we go to El Salvador, right?
Yes.
It's a 2-man show.
Bitcoin Shango said hello to Tino. So that was
They said hi,
nice.
Tino. They said hi, Tino. See, he's mad. He's mad now.
Oh, look, my girlfriend just sent me salary needed to live comfortably. Tampa, St. Petersburg, because she live in Tampa. A single adult needs $94,432. The national average is $93,933. Two working adults who have 2 children need $209,498
Yeah.
in order to live comfortably, not luxuriously, comfortably
Yeah,
in
see,
Tampa.
we went over that list. I don't believe Tampa was on that list because they kept it at about 10 cities, but you had to look at the area that you seen some cities in. Yeah, Tampa, man, that's tough that you need 94
That's a single adult, no children.
single adult. And, if I go back to my old days, I still think single single black man makes about 41,000. I think a single they said about 37,000. The numbers move, but the numbers are the numbers. So that's tough. That's tough.
Santino, here you go, baby. So we got a few people in the rooms, about 15 people in the room.
That's
It's
cool.
about 5 after. I do want to say hello to BK Crypto. Boom.
BK Crypto, yes, sir.
Stepped in the room. Da, 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 da. Oh, big watch dude likes your white watch. I'm sorry, your timepiece, because he wrote timepiece.
Yes, it is. That's a timepiece.
He said he's gonna try his hand or wrist with one soon. Santino here, baby. So we just wanted to talk about a few things. Crip Work, aka KW1, had mentioned that Sam Bankman-Fried ended up getting 25 years. I don't, some people were upset about that. Was it not enough time? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I don't know. I could do 25 years standing on my head. So I don't know about that.
In prison?
Yeah. It's a joke. It's a joke, man.
I don't get it.
It's something people used to always say.
But don't even speak those words. I cancel that out of the universe forever and always. Um, but and they're also going to be decommissioning his charity because we all know what rich people actually do with charities, right? There's no charity being given. That is where they funnel their funds. We wanted to talk to you guys today because Bitcoin has been doing this dance, and Simon and I have been just kind of watching on like social media and just in casual conversation. People like, oh, Bitcoin's down. Like this morning, it was 70,000, and obviously it's red, right? So we talk about always frequencies, logos, symbols, all of these things that are what I like to call, they kind of trigger responses. They have a way of engaging you in a way that if you're not looking at it with the right mindset, it can push you in a direction that isn't necessary. And I know that we are talking to the choir, we're preaching to the choir, we're not necessarily talking to outsiders and so on and so forth, but we are always adjusting each other's crowns and mindset shifts and perception shifts. So I wanted to kind of, share just a few things with you, including an article that Simon and I found that we thought was actually interesting. Bitcoin Shango said, I mean, we all did some federal time. Ours was just in the military versus the yard. That's just, this is true.
Can you pull that chart up? Because I just wanted to get that numbers out of there.
What chart?
The chart, that Bitcoin chart.
Did you leave it up?
Yeah, I just wanted to
The 5-year chart?
yeah, but well,
This
so
chart?
let's
That's
go over the 5-year chart of Bitcoin. And I'm not going to analyze or anything, but the 5-year chart, if you look at it in the past 5 years, Bitcoin is up one
1,000.
1,281%.
Yeah.
The last 5 years. Wow. That's a nice. And we go max chart they got on here. It's up 21,226%. That's the max chart that goes all the way back. It looks like to 2015. But even if you just pulled up the 1-year chart, just
It's still
Bitcoin's
up
up.
146%.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. And people to overlay that chart with any of your FANG stocks, any of your other stocks, your ETF, and it's not even going to be close. And so people still talk about, oh, you got to listen to Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett and all these people. What's the other guy? Peter Schiff and all that. We got to listen to these guys talk about, well, gold. And I'm a gold. I'm for gold because there's a utility for gold, right? But if you got some powder on the side. You want to throw it in Bitcoin. We're not financial advisors, but I do know financial advisors, and so Bitcoin. Look at that performance, and people don't see it like that because they buy it choppy. They buy it, and if you dollar cost average, you won't get that whole 148%, right? Because you buy some here, you buy some there, but you're definitely gonna out return the 401k that you have at work.
Yes. Yes. And I will tell you, my 401k, I talked to Fidelity. We talked to them yesterday. Yesterday. And our portfolio performed at 12%. Was it 12%? No, it was higher than that.
21.
It was 21%.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
It performed at 21%, which is actually pretty good because in the first year it did 12.7%.
Yeah, if you could get anywhere 12 to 21,
Right.
but 21% is really just keeping up with inflation, in my opinion, and Michael Saylor's opinion, because he says he thinks the real inflation is 20 and over, maybe 25. So when you get 20% return,
Yeah.
dang, you
You're
just fighting,
just,
you're
yeah.
clawing, you're clawing. So
You're protecting it against inflation, but you
Sure.
didn't make it ahead.
yeah, that's
Bitcoin Shango said Bitcoin's upward motion is unbelievable. If I did have a financial manager, I'd pull it up and challenge them to tell me why I shouldn't take 70% of my money elsewhere. And that's a really good point, Bitcoin Shango. Like I said, we talked to Fidelity, and it's funny, right? Because they want to ask you all these different questions. about what else are you investing in, because they want you to invest more of your money with them. It looks like they keep framing it as they're talking to me. It looks like you have a lot more room to really push this 401k, right? Based on our other investments and so on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, we throw another 5 or 6% at it if you want to do that, right? So go ahead and raise it. I think I raised it 7% yesterday. So I think I'm up to maybe 14 or 15%. I don't think I can raise it anymore because I can't contribute more than $23,000 a year legally.
I forgot to mention this last. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I forgot to mention this last show when we were talking about 100,000 people who make 100,000 where they live and how much it spends. But when you do that contribution, and she's talking about 23,000
Per year.
per year as the max, it is not taxed. So what happens is your income will look like 77,000.
Yeah, that looks smaller.
So
Tax shelter.
it's a way for you to hide your money, not hide it, a way for so it's
Shelter
not
it.
taxed.
It's a way to shelter it.
Yeah, and we talked about this stuff with Andrew Henderson. He speaks about places you can go, things you can do to try to shelter your money from being taxed so heavily because the United States taxes heavily. And if you're talking about making $100,000 a year, and that was for a single person, one person, you're taxed heavily. You have no dependents. If you don't own your home, you're gonna get taxed to the to be done. And so if it was two of you guys, and now we make 200,000, I mean the taxes that they give you are gonna be crazy. So you gotta find a way to shelter your money from being taxed in that way. And they raise the write-offs up so that you can't hardly
It's
even
so
get,
high.
almost
It's like
impossible.
I can't even write off that much now. Y'all overdoing
Yeah,
it.
so you can't write off that much. It also,
But it does help the people who have absolutely no write-offs because you automatically get this write-off written for you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good for the people who don't, but for the people who do and did see a huge benefit from that, you no longer really have that benefit.
And you need to also, at that point, I'm not a big fan of real estate, but real estate will help you. It's a way to shelter your your, your money from being taxed. So, and I'm not a tax expert, but this is things that happens. This is why we're in Mexico because we have been there and done that. We have been heavily taxed. So we found a way to maybe get to another country, do some things, maybe some residency, and you can avoid some of your taxes because if you're a resident in Mexico, it is up to $126,000 before you have to even
Worry
pay
about
taxes.
taxes.
So these are some of the things that you can look into. I'm sorry to have cut her
Okay,
off,
babes.
but I forgot to talk about that last
No, it's
show,
great
and I
point.
was thinking about that this morning. I said, "Oh, I got to mention that."
Bitcoin Shango said, I'm unable to dabble with anything beyond the thrift savings plan and whatever other nonsense I'm forced to pay into with its county job. That is what it is. But he takes the remaining 70% and does Bitcoin. He was also looking to see how gold would work, but then again, the whole paper versus physical gold plucks his eyebrows. That is hilarious. I've never heard anybody say that, plucks my eyebrows.
It hurts.
So I think that's what he's trying to it's a headache for him. So Bitcoin Shango, like the gold versus precious metals, let's just say precious metals. So whether you do gold, silver and gold, just silver, just gold. It's really not that complicated. It's more, I think, to me, a preference thing, right? I would have, and I mean, you sound like a man who is well capable of protecting your property. Um, you have some, right? Not your cheese, not your keys, not your cheese. It's the same thing. If you ain't holding it, ain't yours. So definitely have some in your possession. Again, it's good to engage with yourself, handle, hold, put on your chest. If you got a pain somewhere, put it on there. The silver and or gold, maybe both, right? That's why we wear jewelry, because you're supposed to have those things on your body. They bring your frequency up. But it's also great to have paper, silver, gold. And the utility we find in that is we would be hard pressed to box our precious metals up and send it back to APMEX to receive to receive
If you want
profits from it.
profits,
Thank
yeah.
you, baby. To receive profits from it. Whereas if you have a bit of paper, silver, paper, gold, and you needed to kind of do something important, you wanted to take profits, it's easier to take profits from your paper, silver, paper, gold. So that's the utility we use it for. It does come in great it comes in handy because we don't want to sell our Bitcoin, right? We really don't want to sell our Bitcoin. We want to accumulate as much of it as possible, hold on to it.
Yeah.
So when it comes time to take profits, Simon is more okay with taking profits from our paper, silver, paper, gold. And like I said, the last large purchase we had was the iMac, and he did that with Doge. So he didn't even touch the silver, touch the gold.
Yeah,
So, but it's to have a little combination. That's what the diversity of your portfolio was really good for, right? You got your Bitcoin, you're stacking. Jake, shout out to Jake Fever. He's not on here yet, but if he does join us, he's big about not touching his Bitcoin as well. So for those of you who are like, look, I know there's coming a time when it's going to be very difficult to access Bitcoin. I don't want to sell it for profits and run it back into anything else. I would rather sell these things and then run it back into Bitcoin or however you really want to do it. The paper, silver, paper, gold is a great utility to have in order to take profits from, especially because it's also, in a sense, doing extremely well right now and can serve you and benefit you in a great way.
And yes, if you use personally, if you use Miles Franklin, they have actually
Customer service reps.
Yeah, and financial advisors who will help you build a diversified portfolio of precious metals. And so,
I think they're numismatists too, so they're experts in the industry to help you.
And there's other precious metals that we don't talk about, platinum, palladium. One of the best performing was copper last year. So copper is kind of running on the low. It's laying low. Sorry, guys.
Cryptonomics. Shout out to Cryptonomics if you still watch our show, love.
Yeah.
He was real big into silver. He had a large volume of silver as well, and was always on top of, hey, you guys should get your silver from here because the spot price is low today, premiums are low, so on and so forth. So it doesn't need to be as complicated as it feels. Is the point that we're making Bitcoin Shango? Not at all, right? ATMEX and One Gold make it really, really easy. If you're not comfortable holding it at your residence, any one of you, I'm not just talking to Bitcoin Shango, but anyone who's interested in it, you absolutely can send it to a depository. I think the depository is in Oklahoma.
Yes, it is in Oklahoma.
They're located in Oklahoma. So you can stand for delivery at any time you like. They will send it to you. And it's a lot easier than you think. So
because it's paper, in that regard of One Gold, you can have it sent to you in the way you want it sent to you. And what I mean by that is if you have 100 ounces, you can have 100 silver eagles sent to you, or you can just have 100-ounce bar sent to you. You pick. You can have 10-ounce bars sent to you. So it's in the depository. You stand for delivery in the way that you want to have it.
In the way that you prefer. Big Watch Drew, Let Freedom Ring said you're making some great points. Big Watch Drew said, does Miles Franklin charge a maintenance fee? I thought that they did.
Oh, wow.
Don't quote me on that. You can call them and ask, Big Watch Drew, but I think that they do.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I'm talking about the maintenance fee for the depository.
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin Shango said, thank y'all for the tips. I'll be doing more research. I just don't trust folks. Not sell me some gold painted. That's so funny. But just like learning about Bitcoin, this is a process. It's a good one though. Yes, and yes.
If you and I just is just a tidbit, but if you deal with the COMEX where you have the orders, right? So you have your orders.
But tell them what COMEX stands for.
COMEX.
It's an acronym.
No, it's not an acronym.
It's not.
No, it's just it's the COMEX, but it's part of the Mercantile Exchange.
There we go.
From New York.
Yep.
So if you take orders on the COMEX, and you got to be a big dog to take orders on the COMEX.
And it doesn't stand for Commercial Exchange?
No, you thinking of something else.
I must be thinking of something else. Go ahead.
But they're part of the the Mercantile
Go
Exchange for New York.
ahead.
But they have the right, if you stand for delivery and too many people do it, they have the right to resolve the contract
In
in
cash
paper cash.
and fiat.
They have the right. So even if it was a run on the Comex with everybody with, that's what everybody wants. They want to run on the Comex. So the Comex, they don't have enough silver, but they do reserve the right to pay you out in cash. And if you want your silver, they say, nah, I pay you out in cash. What is it? The numbers are
When you say it, I know how it go.
500, 1,000 ounce bars or
1
5,100.
ounce. There you go.
It's 5,100.
Okay.
So if you take a paper contract on the Comex, it's 5,100 ounce bars. So that's why I say big dogs play on the Comex. So, but if they started saying, "Oh, I stand for delivery, I stand for delivery," and they start getting nervous, they just could pay you out in cash because they
And
don't have the
people
silver.
typically don't stand for delivery because they don't have anywhere to put that amount of weight, right? You have this thing that's taking up space, it's heavy to transport. There's a lot of nuances to gold and silver in extremely large amounts. So typically people don't stand for delivery because they don't have anywhere to put their inventory.
And then, so you understand, the big dogs, it's the same thing. 5,100 ounce gold bars. That's big dogs playing on the Comex, and they start standing for delivery. Then they could just pay you out in cash, and that's the little thing you don't see in the bottom, but they know that. The big dogs know that.
So, Big Watch Dude said, does Miles Franklin have a debit card attached to your account? Do you mean, do you attach your debit card to the account? Or do they, just clarify your question for me? That way your profits can go to your debit card, if that's what you're asking. I hope that's what you're asking. And then, Let Freedom Ring is, can you spend from your deposit like a debit card? I think I know what they're asking.
I'm sure. I don't know what they're asking. Now, One Gold has a credit card where you can get where your interest goes back to your silver, but that's a credit card.
Or you just attach your banking information to it so that when you take profits, it goes right into your checking account. So I just want to make sure that we're tracking with the questions that Big Watch Student and Let Freedom Ring are asking. Crit Work asks if we've checked out Glint. No, Crit Work, tell me what Glint is.
I came across Glenn,
What is Glint?
but I didn't look into it. I haven't. I
Okay,
didn't
tell
look
us what
into
it is, Crit Work, if you can share that with us. But the show today, like I said, on social media, I've noticed that there's been some casual conversation, maybe a little bit of gloating, that Bitcoin is down. And the perception and the reality are two different things, right? And that's why I kind of want to bring this up. When you go on Bitcoin right now, even at, what did I say was 69,000?
7.
Yeah, let's just refresh it and see what it is. So right now it's 69,872. But as soon as you pull the chart up, and this is what we're talking about with frequency, wavelengths, right? The first thing you see is everything's all red. So it immediately triggers a response in you of the disappointment, right? When you see the red. And like I said, the idea of it is that the perception is very different from the reality. Because again, when you go and hit any one of those charts, whether it's the 1-year chart, the 5-year chart, they had a max chart,
Oh, the max chart that goes way
right?
back to when it
All
started.
of those are green, and they're showing you these huge, gigantic numbers. And what I want to bring up really is that even though the chart's red because it's just down from today, right? It's down from the 70,000 it was today, this morning, it's showing as red, right? So that red already emits a frequency of lack. It emits a frequency of disappointment. It emits a frequency of, I won't say poverty, but whenever something's in the red, it's a deficit, is how it is perceived, right? But the reality of Bitcoin is that it's in full abundance, right? When we look at it with the 5-year chart, we said that it was up.
I think at least 1,200%.
I
At
just
least
wanted to
1,200.
make sure I'm using accurate numbers. So the 5-year chart right now at 7:24 Eastern Standard Time, Friday, March 29th, Good Friday. Bitcoin is up 1,283% in spite of today's chart showing in red. When we look at the 1-year chart, so this is just 12 months now, Bitcoin is up 146.48%.
And so let me just say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to that number. So I'm not banging on financial advisors, but what I'm saying is they could have never put a portfolio together to get you these kind of returns.
Not
In 5 years.
146.48%, no, sir. I don't even know how exponentially high that is in comparison to maybe the average portfolio that a financial
You
advisor
go on,
would have them perform.
I don't know what bank accounts you guys have, but you go on Wells Fargo's bank account sometime, and they'll just say like, "Oh, would you like financial advice, financial advisor through Wells Fargo?" Why? So I can get a 2% gain, if not a loss.
Most
If not a
of
loss.
it's the loss. And then the max chart, and this is the most important thing because the max chart is abundance upon abundance, right? The max chart shows 21,267.77% all time. 21,000% increase on returns for Bitcoin in spite of what today's chart says. So that's why we kind of named the show. I don't even remember what I named it. I named it something
Well, she
past,
does.
present, and
Yeah,
future.
but-
Bitcoin forecast, past, present, and future. But I do want to share an article that we found about Kathy Wood and ARK
Oh
Investments.
yeah, that was a good article we see today.
Before we do that, Critwork said Glenn is a company that sells gold, and there's a debit card with the account.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's what it was. It was about Percy told me about Glenn. That's what it was. The chief.
The chief,
The
aka
chief told me
Big Woods.
about Glenn. The chief got a Glenn. He has a Glenn card. But this was a little bit back.
So
But
what are you doing? You're buying gold and then you take profits on the debit card?
I don't know how he said, but he said he
That's
got
what it
his.
sound
Because he
like.
told me one day, he said, I got my card in the mail. I said, oh, okay. He said, you should get yours. And I said, but
I'm
you
in
know,
Mexico.
it's hard to get mail over here. So sometimes stuff like that, I got to pass on.
I want to welcome Crypto Hoops to the room. Thank you so much for
Crypto
joining
Hoops?
us.
Oh,
Crypto
yeah.
Hoops is saying Bitcoin is down. That's crazy. The price point before the halving is insane. Those people saying that are not. Those people saying that are going to be in shock in 9 to 12 months. They're going to be in shock in 9 to 12 hours because, Bitcoin is so dynamic that, like I said, when you start looking at the actual reality of Bitcoin, that red chart for today is a non-issue, right?
And then when some people say, oh, are you a Bitcoin maximalist? I'm like, well,
Yes. Well, yes.
but why not? I mean, I don't even look at the other coins. Like I said, we talked about the other day. I guess it's classified as a commodity.
Yes.
That's what I've been told.
Yes, sir.
So it's not even projects. Like you need to talk about projects. I get it, other people in different projects, but I just been in this lane because this lane been. You see how fast it's going. We just stay in the fast lane, and because I tried to deal with some of the other ones, but it's just too much going on and too much counterparty risk in my opinion. I still like Ethereum. I still hold Ethereum. BlockFi still holds some of my Ethereum.
BlockFi, we want our money. Stop playing with us.
Then there's that, but that was my fault.
I want my
That
money.
was my fault. But,
Run me my money.
but yeah, so I like to stay in this lane where we understand what it is, and it's just to us, it's the best for our family what we built. That's all I.
Well said. Critwork said the red charts are part of the psychology, yes, girl, of the market to encourage you to sell low, and then the whales go right behind you and buy the dip. And that's exactly what we're getting at, right? And like I said, I know that we're talking to the choir, so you guys probably already know this, but I may be talking to one or two newbies who are like, I'm so glad that you mentioned it because I was starting to get worried, kind of newbie. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to kind of bring to your attention the difference between, you know, a perception and an actual reality. I want to welcome Mo to the room. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're really happy to have you, and you keep joining us. So we're happy about that type of support. Let Freedom Ring said, totally agree. Bitcoin's number one. But I want to read to you this article real quick, and we're not going to keep you. It's Friday. People got paid today. It's Easter weekend. I got paid today. No, I'm just
dang, I'm still trying to get some LeBron, y'all. So hey, feel for me.
Okay, Yahoo Finance had this great article that we came across after Simon and I were talking about the perception of the red chart and the reality of Bitcoin in the past and the present. So here in this particular article, they're going to be talking about Bitcoin's future. And I just want to try one more time to see if I can share my screen. Cousin Rue shares his screen with no problem, and then every time I go to do it, I break it. Every time I go to do it, I break it. Look at that. Oh, wait, I think it worked, y'all. Let me see. I know. Well, the screen I was up was the screen we were looking at. Okay, yay, I think you guys can see it. So this is unstoppable cryptocurrency with 5,300% upside by 2030. Y'all, it's 2024. That's 6 years from now, 60 months from now, according to Kathy Wood. So Kathy Wood is the head of ARK Investment Management. It operates 14 exchange-traded funds. Focused on technological innovations. They include everything from artificial intelligence to electric vehicles to cryptocurrency. The firm's official research implies that the coin could deliver a gain of 2,000% by 2030. But Kathy Wood herself just came out with a new price target that points to a potential upside of more than 5,300%. Bitcoin is trading near an all-time high right now, and investors are as enthusiastic about its prospects as ever. But is Kathy Wood's forecast realistic? And then it goes in to talk about Bitcoin as a unique asset. I'm not going to go into that now because you guys understand that, but I do want to read this one particular line where it says, it's gained about 325% from its low in 2022. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Y'all get your hearing aid batteries together. It said Bitcoin lost 65% of its value in 2022, but has since gained about 325% from its low point that year. Now, granted, they don't like that type of unpredictability, right? Yeah. To them, it's too volatile. But imagine losing 65% and gaining 325%, which is, it sounds about 3 times the number. They talk about the supply demand. Does the story continue? ARK's catalyst for a higher Bitcoin price. So ARK highlights 8 potential sources of demand for Bitcoin that could send this price soaring by 2030. 1, corporate treasury. ARK believes companies will eventually hold between 0%, which is a bear case, and 5%, which is a bull case, of their cash reserves in Bitcoin. And Simon's been yelling that from the rooftops for how long now? That companies should be doing that.
Yeah. Well, somebody put me in charge of something.
Somebody put me in charge of something. The second catalyst, remittance asset. Bitcoin could represent between 5 and 25% of all non-commercial money transfers, aka remittance payments. Nation state treasury. Government treasury departments around the world could hold between 0% and 5% of their assets in Bitcoin. Number 4, emerging market currency. Bitcoin could be the primary currency in some developing nations. Of course, they are showing you El Salvador as an example of adopting it as legal tender. Economic settlement network. Bitcoin could eliminate a number of fees imposed by banks and financial institutions, capturing between 1% and 10% of U.S. bank settlement volume. I wish that number was higher, actually. Seizure-resistant asset. Between 1% and 5% of the global wealth held by high net worth individuals could be stored in Bitcoin to protect it from the government. Now, We do know that the government does have possession of Bitcoin that they took. I'm not sure if it was voluntarily given to them, if they seized the wallets and stuff.
Okay, so how that goes is because they'll put out these articles,
Yeah.
say they seized Bitcoin. You cannot seize Bitcoin. What happens is the government, if they are onto you, if you're doing some criminal activity, they can sit on your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And if you decide to move it, then they got you, right? And so now what they do is they do their FBI thing. Hey, you got this many years, whatever, 30 years, or if you give us the Bitcoin, we get you down to 5 years.
But you're voluntarily giving it up. It's not really being seized.
It's not being seized.
So they're playing with the words.
Yeah, they're playing with the words. You have to voluntarily give it to the government. The government cannot seize it.
Gotcha. Institutional investment. Banks and financial institutions could place between 1% and 6.5% of their assets in Bitcoin because they believe it will further appreciate in value. And we've seen Michael Saylor do that with his company, which is a tech company, but.
And I want to clean that up too. They can, quote unquote, seize your wallet. And if you never give up the keys,
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin goes away forever.
And that's just that. Neither one of you. It's like a Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Digital gold. Between 20 and 50% of money investors normally allocate to gold could eventually be placed in Bitcoin instead, thanks to its strong performance and portability. So I just talked to you guys about standing for delivery. It's difficult because the inventory takes up a lot of space. It's heavy. The portability of it has always been an issue. Now, silver, because it's way more divisible than gold, is an even harder portable asset.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Right? Where at least gold kind of compresses silver in a sense. But if you're a big dog like the ones you were talking about that plays on the COMEX, they're dealing in tons, in literal megatons of gold. Here's how high ARK believes Bitcoin can rise by 2030 based on the demand generated by those 8 catalysts. So a bear case, everybody knows bear is bad. It's down, it's low. They said a bear case is 258,500, representing an upside of 270%. So she's saying even in a scenario of scarcity, because bear would be scarcity, right? And bull would be prosperity. If we just wanted to paint a picture, it still has an upside of 270% from today's price of roughly 69,000. The base case, so that midline point, right? So this is middle of the road, 682,800, representing an upside of 880%. These numbers are nuts, Simon. And then a bull case. We know the bull is full prosperity, represents ball. It's always represented prosperity. 1.4 million, representing an upside of 2,400%. Let me say that again, representing an upside of 2,400%. But Kathy Wood just doubled down. So she spoke at a Bitcoin Investor Day conference in New York last week, where she said Bitcoin could actually eclipse ARK's 2030 price target of 1.4 million and instead soar to 3.8 million. The 5,300% upside could be driven by further adoption of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, which won the approval of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in January. So far, the 10 approved ETF operators, including ARK, manage more than 58 billion, with a B, worth of assets in their Bitcoin funds, and that figure is continuing to grow. Woods said if institutional investors allocated a little more than 5% of their portfolios to Bitcoin, that alone would be enough to warrant a price of 3.8 million. And there is the proof in the pudding. Now, you guys may be sitting at home listening to our show and wondering if Kathy Wood's forecast is realistic. It says past performance doesn't predict future results, so there's no guarantee that Bitcoin will continue to outperform other asset classes, let alone surge more than 50-fold. The cryptocurrency would have a market capitalization of 74.7 trillion if it did reach a price point of 3.8 million, making it nearly 3 times more valuable than the U.S. economy by GDP, and 23 times more valuable than the largest company in the world, which is considered Microsoft at this time. It says treating Bitcoin as a store of value does make sense, and perhaps one day it could have a similar market cap to gold, which currently stands at 14.6 trillion. That would translate to a tenfold return in Bitcoin from here, taking it to 743,500, which is slightly above our base case estimate. Now, we don't have to get in because they want you to get into their stock advisor and get their advisor and so on and so forth.
But that's Yahoo Finance, reputable.
Right, but
I think you had shared it on the wrong screen. But it's
no,
okay.
I just put it down. See, when I put it up, it goes back. I know how to work technology. I use it all the
So
time.
I'm just saying you can't see us anymore.
I know, but see, when I move it, that's that. Y'all see what I gotta deal with my boss? This is what I gotta deal with. See?
Okay. But
Okay.
I'm talking about in the middle.
I know, but I'm about to minimize it
Okay.
so they can see us again. I'm gonna turn it off. Y'all got bosses like this at work? I'm in charge of production. I got this. I know what I'm doing. No, I'm just joking. But I missed some of what y'all were saying, so let me just backtrack. Bitcoin is MJ, Ethereum. Oh, Bitcoin is MJ and Ethereum is LeBron. That's hilarious, Crypto Hoops. I love that. My husband, I don't think he'd like that. Look at his face.
No, I don't mind it. I just
You
didn't
didn't
want.
mind the.
No, I just didn't want. I thought you was gonna say Ethereum was the Mamba. Then I wouldn't have liked it at all. But okay, I could roll with this.
Why? If somebody said,
Not the Mamba.
you saying the Mama's Bitcoin level?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
So
got you.
I can't
I got
have
you. I was
that.
trying to figure out what you didn't like. All right. Yeah. He likes it. He likes it, Crypto Hoops. I like it too. I love that. Bitcoin Shango said the family aspect is what snatched me into Bitcoin. I've been black all my life. So have we. What a coincidence. And history has shown me that whenever we prosper, we get robbed. Yeah, I don't like that part of the black experience either, Bitcoin Shango. When I realized no one could take Bitcoin from me, that's what got Simon excited as well. They can't put a lien on it. They can't go into your paycheck and put a judgment on it. They can't come to your house, break in the door, waving the 4-4. They can't do none of that, right? Bitcoin Shango, where my hip hop heads at? I be saying bars and stuff, throwing little subtle lines in there, and like nobody's like that was Biggie.
So for the back, I'm kind of. But anyway, I had made a mistake on something I said about the COMEX. It's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
I knew it stood for something.
But it's not the New York Mercantile.
I get that, but I knew COMEX stood for something exchange.
Yeah,
Mercantile exchange. I know it stood for that.
Mercantile
There we go.
Exchange. Sorry, I wanted to clean that up just in case anybody cared.
Oh, it's right here. Oh, did you hear that? You wasn't supposed to hear that. They were supposed to see me say, but you don't hear it. Bitcoin Shango said, I was in all the way in. I want to be able to pass my love, my effort, my energy down to my kids, grandkids, and their great grandkids. Bitcoin lets me be there for them in ways that fiat does not. Bitcoin Shango, I want you to do me a favor and explain the third paycheck to the co-parent. I want you to explain that. I think that's something we should adopt, that the co-parent get the third paycheck in the house.
I don't understand.
I know, he's going to explain it to you. He about to explain it to you.
Paragraphs, you don't read them.
Bitcoin, I read all of it. Bitcoin Shango gives co-parent a whole extra paycheck for her to have for the month. That's prosperous. So he's going to tell you the process so we could adopt it in our household.
What does it mean, though?
It means that she gets a third paycheck from him for the month. So like how I get two from my employer, you would give me your whole one, and that would be my third one.
What you mean? I'm broke, baby.
I'm broke, baby. Get out of here.
Now I know what
You see what I got to do with Bitcoin Shango? I'm trying to get you to mentor him into good processes for the household, and he's talking about he's broke. Critwork said, I'm buying the red as much as I can every time I see it. Right. That's the other perception thing that Simon has been screaming from the hilltops. When you see red, it is not that it's down, it's that it's on sale. And these different mindset shifts and perceptions and frequencies move us in a different direction, which bring us the outcomes that we are looking for.
And I'm not trying to change where the conversation is going, but if you go to the grocery store, they'll put tags up that are yellow.
Yes.
So yellow tags now.
But that's Walmart. Everybody else uses red tags.
They do it in Soriana. They use yellow tags.
They do use yellow at Soriana.
And so something's on sale, and then you just like flip it, and it's the same price. And I'm like, they just trying to. They trying to just run one on you, right? It's the same price, but they put a yellow tag out.
They
with
said
the price.
Target's been doing that. When you move the Target's red, when you move the red tag, it's the same exact price.
They said they were doing that on Black Friday, and people weren't
Yeah,
weren't
they
buying
weren't
nothing.
feeling it. But yeah, I
yeah,
seen Soriana
they
do
just
that
trying to
too.
run the mind trick
But
on
you
your
got to be
customers.
smart and move it to see what was the original price. Um, she said it makes her have a little bit more time to pack more into her, I guess, her suitcase. Just imagine when it does go parabolic. Big watch dude, I'm calling him Invicta dude. U.S. government has strong-armed all of their Bitcoin. So ironic, I know, right? All the Bitcoin they own, they somehow, which way, shape, or form, took from someone else, but can't really do nothing with. Willie Fells, thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate you joining us, Willie Fells. Willie Fells says he enjoys listening to us.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You enjoy me giving my husband a hard time about this third paycheck Bitcoin shangle I'm putting in my mind. Will 45, what's up? Thank you so much for joining us. Critwork said, Google this and share the screen. Could y'all see the screen when I shared it? Because I was having trouble with the share. I don't know why. Cousin Rue does it and it works fine, and then when I do it, it doesn't work. So let me know if you were able to see the screen when we read the article. Evicted dude said, Black Mama forever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the word I always say,
Exactly.
Mamba out.
Mamba out.
There we go. Bitcoin Shango. All you heard was Papa don't hit me no more. That's what I'm saying. They waving the 4-4. They done kicked in the door, waving the 4-4. That's funny. All right, there go my hip hop heads. I was wondering. I was getting worried. Uh, he's well aware of the third paycheck conversation. Bitcoin Shango. He's being funny. He's trying to be Money Mitch, talking about he broke, baby. It says, right now, she's tamping down on debt we incurred during his less than employed days. But when we're caught up, that check goes straight to Bitcoin and cold storage. That's where I would put my third paycheck. I would put it all in the Bitcoin when you give it to me.
You put it out in cold storage?
I'll put it wherever you want me to put it. Just give it to me first, and then we'll put it wherever you want. Willie Fell said bars. Oh, good. Nicole said that they could see the screen when I shared it. I really appreciate that. So that means it's working
But
again.
yeah, you know, ARK Investments is they're really cutting edge. So the fact that she has this vision, linked with Michael Saylor, who has the same type of vision, although he doesn't have a fund like that, but he has not access to Bitcoin. He has, what is the word?
His treasury reserves?
He has treasury reserves in Bitcoin, but he allows people and companies to get access to Bitcoin without having to hold the Bitcoin. You know, and
exposure.
Exposure is a better word. Okay. They get exposure to Bitcoin without having to have the Bitcoin. And you have these companies like ARK Investments and what is it, MicroStrategies, and the other one, Grayscale. Even I think Grayscale might be having some problems over there, from what I heard. But
I didn't hear that.
But no, because some people don't want to have the Bitcoin; they just want exposure to it. And that's when ETFs come out, and then now you could do that. But it's all good.
Now, you keep telling me I'm using hedging my bet wrong.
Yes.
Would I be using it right if I said that Grayscale is hedging their bet then? They don't want to hold it. They just want access to it, so they're hedging their bet using the ETF. I'm still using it wrong. Mm-hmm. That's not using it right?
Yeah, Grayscale.
Actually, I meant to say Grayscale. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, Grayscale actually has Bitcoin. They allow other companies
to have exposure. Okay, so those other companies, are they hedging their bets? So I'm trying to figure out, am I using the term right?
What are they hedging their bet against?
They want to have access to it, but they don't want to hold it.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be hedging your bet?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Finally.
He keeps trying to tell me I'm using that wrong, and I'm like, I think I know what it means.
That might be all
right. All right, Bitcoin Shango gotta go.
All right, man.
He's gonna be back in his true and final form in just a moment. He's gonna show us his Bitcoin Shango here in a second.
I've been looking for one.
We've had John Long here for about an hour. We just wanted to kind of really, I want to say, interject. Not interject. That's not the word I'm looking. Y'all know I be having seizures, so I'll be forgetting stuff. But we really wanted to illustrate. That's the word I was looking for. We wanted to illustrate the difference between perception and actual reality. Just based on, like I said, I know we're talking to the choir, so none of you guys probably thought any of those things, but when you're talking to other people who do have a little bit of the negative Nellies and they want to, tell you, well, it's down and why mess with it if it keep going down and stuff like that. You can really illustrate for them, like, hey, it's not really down. Let me show you the reality of what's really going on with it. And then you can definitely show them the past, right? 5-year chart, max chart, 1-year chart. Yes, today in the present, it looks like it's down, but it's really up, right? That's the reality of it. And then you can show them that forecast of what ARK Investments was thinking about. She had a nice formulaic breakdown of the 8 catalysts that would be the gas to propel this rocket ship. Yes, I did all 8.
And do you guys ever watch? Is it MSNBC or CNN?
Maybe. Go ahead.
CNBC?
There's both of them.
The financial channel, the one that.
Probably MSNBC. But go ahead.
Okay, but they keep on trying to bring people on and beat it down as the price keeps going up, and it's hilarious. It's like you guys shouldn't even have jobs. I mean, these guys are coming on here and they're bringing on experts. They always bring on the big homie Popliano. They always bring him on. They bring other people on. They've been bring on even Bitcoin's Day sometimes, and they keep arguing about Bitcoin as the price goes up. And I just said, but why? But why? Why not just go with the flow? If they don't want it to go, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even watch it anymore. I can't. That's why I say I can't remember who the
host is
are.
now.
I can't remember.
And Victor Dude had to go, aka Big Watch Dude.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Get some rest, eat some good food. But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of show you guys. Yeah, tomorrow's Holy Saturday, and then Easter Sunday. Santino was born on Holy Saturday. It's just that was a year when Easter was in April, like later April. He's gonna be 7 in 2 weeks, y'all. So we just wanted to kind of show you, the difference between perception and reality. And especially, like we said, when you're talking to people who have a negative outlook on Bitcoin, who want to, even if they just want to argue you down, you can show them, like, that's what it looks like, but here's the reality of it. And absolutely, he's here in his final form, y'all, Bitcoin Shango. Like Gem and the holograms.
I don't think he wants that.
Just now he was Jerica, and now he's Gem.
I don't think he wants that comparison.
If he's an 80s baby, he would know the reference. Y'all 80s babies would know that reference. Okay, like Superman. He was Clark Kent, now he's Superman.
There we go.
There we go. That's better. I like the Gem and the holograms reference. I used to love Gem and holograms. But we want you guys to have a great weekend, have a safe weekend. There is a lot of craziness going on. I do want to bring up just a few more points that are non-Bitcoin related, but the migrants now, and I know they have been, but they're across the board now going to be getting $1,400 a month in benefits, $1,400 US per month in the same year that the tax code was kind of changed, and people who were used to getting tax returns did not get one this year. How coincidental. That's crazy, right? They are taking your tax money and just giving it to strangers. Now, I was talking to a friend today, and I was kind of just spitballing, like, why would you implode the country from the inside out? And he said something really, really, really interesting to me. He said, I've been thinking about this too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this too, and I believe that there's a certain group of people who no longer want to vote a certain party. You're talking about us, right? We done with them. And I mean, I don't mean us like me and Simon, I mean like us collectively. And what they're trying to do is find ways to change the law in order to kind of get like a new group of people who will go along with all of their antics and stuff, since they don't give you anything and they shame you into voting for that party who doesn't do anything for you, who tells you outright they will not do anything for you, and so on and so forth. So yes, I'm talking about the Democratic Party. Y'all send me your emails if you want to. Y'all don't do nothing for us. I can see that because Black people have gotten smart and they've stopped getting on that bandwagon, that now you guys are recruiting from the outside. You're no longer doing it internally like you used to. So you guys want to keep your eyes out for that, because if that's the case, that's crazy, but it makes all the sense in the world. Two, I heard the crime is out of control with the migrants in the cities that they're hanging out in, that the Gini coefficient has really shot sky high
Yeah.
because there isn't a way to really police that type of crime.
And sometimes they don't have enough space in these county jails. And if you watch stuff on that, man, people like cars lined up. When I say cars, I mean police cars lined up to bookend people.
Yeah.
They don't have any places. They're letting people out. Like,
Yeah, there's nowhere, they don't have enough holding, enough manpower, yada, yada, yada. So I know a lot of you guys do live in these cities, so definitely be safe, keep watch.
Yeah.
But $1,400 a month for them, and mugs don't even get a tax return into something that they've sat and paid in. The ones who do, paid in all year, that's crazy, that's nuts. But like, where would we get the money to give away free if we don't take it from you, right? Bitcoin Shango said he don't even argue with them peoples. I'm not saying argue with them, but sometimes you can kind of make a point and just kind of shut people down when you are able to just really illustrate this diagram for them. Like, you think it's down, but let me really show you what's going on with it. And then when they see it in that manner, like, what can they say?
Yeah, what can you do? Like, who
The
can
math is the math. Numbers don't lie.
who can you vote for? Who do they want you to vote for?
I don't know.
Who do they want you to vote
I
for?
don't know, but
You
I
got
do
two,
know.
You got two options.
I do know that when the Great White Hope was in office, as Jesse Lee Peterson calls him,
Yeah.
when he was in office, Mugs had money in their pocket. Stock market was going up. Every time he tweeted, stock market went up, right?
Yeah.
That was the year we got that big ass tax refund, remember?
I always get,
So they gonna put me
I
under
always
the
switch
jail.
my hat game up. So I might come in with a red
With the
hat.
red-
With, hey, we'll know,
But
know.
Jesse Lee Peterson crazy. He
Right,
called him the
right.
Great White Hope. But we did have money in our pocket when he was in office. I can't lie about that. Bitcoin Shango said Gem and the holograms wasn't his thing. Obviously, right? I'm a girl. He used to watch Silverhawks. I don't even know what
Yeah,
that is.
Silverhawks was that show.
Gem and the holograms.
Silver.
But yeah, okay, Clark Kent and Superman. But for women, it was Jerica and Gem, and it was Gem with a J. Yeah, we do need to be done with them. Let freedom ring. I'm finished with them. Y'all telling the truth. And I think that he said Trump 2024. I ain't lying. I said, my man out here selling gold shoes. He don't have the money for his bond. It's real out here.
It's real for him.
It's
in the streets.
real out here.
It's real for him in the streets.
I don't know what's
He's
happening.
a billionaire.
I don't know what's happening, right? If you ain't got it,
packing his
who
pockets.
has it? I don't know.
He patting his pockets like.
I feel like
"I
Kanye West. Who has it?
Man, he don't got it, man.
I don't know. But it's interesting times. I remember Andy Scheckman used to always tell us, may we live in interesting times, and we are absolutely living in the most interesting of times. So we love y'all so much. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna work on this third paycheck thing this weekend. Bitcoin Shango, wish me luck. Look at his face behind me. We're gonna see what happens, and I will report back to y'all on Monday. It's probably gonna be a big fat no, but we're working on it, y'all. We love y'all. Have a great weekend. He said these tax shenanigans are just another reason why I'm disenchanted with the country. I deployed to defend and it sucks. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I can see you being tight about that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's why, when we moved away, some people in there, and that we are running from the problem. I said, no, we did what we were supposed to do.
No, we went and built our own kingdom. What do you mean?
Yeah, we did what we were supposed to do.
Don't matter who the president is here. Doesn't matter who the mayor is here. It's nice that he's my neighbor. I can knock on his door and tell him what's going on. But
And the thing
I'm
is,
good either way.
and
Number
the
go
thing
up
is-
regardless.
And the thing is, anybody who was feeling like this, and you was really, you could call us really offline. We'll get you set up for real.
Yeah,
Like, talk about get you set up.
that's what we do.
That's what we do. So, if that's what you really want to do, call us and we can chop it up and see what needs to be done.
All right, Bitcoin Shango. Let's see what happens on Monday.
All right.
Bye, y'all.